Welcome. Well, welcome everybody. It's 7 p.m. and I do like to start on time, so we end on time. So tonight we will be covering the oh, I just lost. I blanked out on the WordPress website templates offered by Kiwanis International. They're free for our clubs. And tonight we have Bryce Kinder with us from Kiwanis International. And Bryce is a member experience technology engineer with the IT team at KI. It's a new role he took on in March last year after having served 21 years with the organization's member services department. And boy, when I had problems, I'd reach out to Bryce and from that member services department, and he was always there to help. As a technology engineer, Bryce's primary focus is to ensure that the digital tools that Kiwanis creates prioritize the members' needs in their design and implementation. And no matter what role he's in with Kiwanis, Bryce remains committed to supporting members and club leaders in their efforts to impact their communities in the name of Kiwanis. He resides in a small community of Franklin, Indiana, with his wife and daughter, and he enjoys time spent with his family and serving his local church. So, Bryce, I'm going to turn it over to you.
I appreciate it, Leah. Thanks. It's good to see everybody tonight. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules or time maybe away from your families to spend an hour talking over technology that Kiwanis International can offer to you. As Leah mentioned, I've worked with many of you in the past in my prior role with member services, and earlier in the year last year, I had the opportunity to join the IT department. And so you heard my title there, Member Experience Technology Engineer. I'm not quite sure what that means. It's a lot of words, but really what it means to me is I see myself as your advocate when we're developing technology. I try to serve as the spokesperson for what member and club and district leaders need for the tools that we create for you all online. And so it's exciting to me that I've got this opportunity to talk to you about this product that we can offer to you from the Kiwanis International office that may really help your club in marketing itself online. So by show of hands on camera, how many of you have a club that has a club website of some kind, no matter who provides it? You have some sort of online presence. I know we've got some folks off camera. That's certainly fine. But those of you that are on camera, it looks like most of you are have some sort of online footprint as part of that. And so we're going to talk about what Kiwanis offers tonight. We're going to talk about some news from third-party sources that you may have heard over the last several months. Some of you may subscribe to some of those third-party services, and so we're here to answer some of those questions as well. But I've got the chat up, so I will try to keep an eye on questions as they come up naturally through the course of the evening. But we do have time at the end to do questions and answers, so I'll try to go back through there and catch any that we don't get organically. And then also we can open it up for the group to discuss on mic as part of that. So having said that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you real quick here. Okay. So again, I appreciate everybody attending tonight, and we'll hope that it's a valuable time to you. So just to give you an outline of what the presentation will kind of include tonight. First of all, we're going to define some of the terms that we kind of all use and that we'll talk about through the presentation tonight. Now, I find that as I talk to members about the different online products there are and what clubs are using, we don't always use the same words as each other. And so I want to make sure that we understand what we're talking about. And so we're going to define some of the things, some of the concepts and some of the products that might come up in this conversation tonight, so that we all understand each other and we come away from this having a clear picture of what's available. We are going to talk about the free club websites. As Leah mentioned, Kiwanis offers a club website product that is easy to use. It's based on WordPress, which, if you're familiar with online websites, WordPress is very common within that space as part of that. And so we'll talk about what we can offer to you through that service. We're going to talk about Portal Buzz and its discontinuation. Some of you may be on tonight because you've received notification either from Portal Buzz itself or from Kiwanis International letting you know that Portal Buzz is discontinuing its service. Some of you may not know what Portal Buzz is, and so we're going to talk about both of those things and answer any questions that you might have as part of that conversation. And then I'll share some common questions that we've received and what those answers are, and we'll have some time for question and answer from the group itself. And so hopefully that'll allow us to kind of hit those important areas that you all have joined us for tonight. So starting out, let's again define some of those terms, some of the technology terms that we're gonna discuss throughout the evening. So first and foremost is the Kiwanis Free Club websites. This is what's been mentioned already. This is a website product that is completely free of cost to your club. If you sign up for a website through us, provided by us, we do not charge the club anything for that website itself. It is based on WordPress, which again is a very common platform. It's very well known and well used, and because of that, it's very robust, secure, and stable. And so that's why we've chosen that. We'll talk a little bit about Kiwanis.org, and that's just the public-facing website for the organization. So I'm sure those of you that have had need to find information about the international organization, or if you've been an officer or district leader, you've probably had some need to go out to Kiwanis.org in the past. And so we'll talk about that just a little bit. You may have noticed that Kiwanis.org changed in its look within the last 5 months or so, and that's kind of related to what we're going to talk about tonight as well. And so we want to make sure everybody understands that Kiwanis.org is just the public facing website for the organization itself. We're going to talk about Kiwanis Connect. Kiwanis Connect is the current club reporting site and district reporting site. It's also known as the Secretary Dashboard. So again, those of you that have been club officers in the past or a district officer, you're probably familiar with Kiwanis Connect. You'd log in and go to your Secretary Dashboard or your district dashboard. And that site is connected to the Kiwanis database, allows you direct access into the database to update information for your club or for your district. You're also going to hear me talk a little bit about Kiwanis Engage, and maybe you've heard about Kiwanis Engage in the past, but Kiwanis Engage will be the replacement for Kiwanis Connect, the reporting site that I just mentioned. Kiwanis Engage will be an enhanced reporting site for clubs and districts to use. It's based on Salesforce, which some of you in your full-time careers, or maybe if you keep abreast of industry news, you may have heard of Salesforce, but it's a pretty big player in kind of the association management sphere. But Kiwanis Engage will be based on that platform, and we're anticipating that that's going to launch in Q3 or Q4 of this year as part of that. So that's not too far away, but that's going to come about, and that's going to allow us to offer a lot of enhanced features that you don't currently have on the Kiwanis Connect reporting site right now. And so you may hear me mention that a little bit, but that's what Kiwanis Engage are. So everything we've talked about up till now are Kiwanis technology items, things that Kiwanis offers and Kiwanis builds. We're also going to talk about Portal Buzz, which I've mentioned already. And Portal Buzz, if you're not familiar with it, is it's a third-party website or web platform. It's provided by an outside company called Aplos Software, and it's been around for a long time. There's probably about 700 to 800 clubs that subscribe to Portal Buzz, and they've used that for both their public website host and also for some member management features. Portal Buzz in the past has been had some limited integration with Kiwanis's database so that you could share information between those. And again, part of the reason we're having this conversation tonight, or I'm sure some of the questions that'll come up will have to do with the fact that PortalBuzz notified its subscribers that it would be closing in February of this year, so another month and a half as part of that. And that's created some anxiety for those clubs that have used PortalBuzz for a long time. And so we'll talk about that as well. So again, want to define all those terms, make sure we all understand as a group, kind of we're using common language when we talk about these things so that I don't assume that you all know kind of the systems I'm talking about, and we can make sure that everything's clear as part of that. So let's talk about the free club websites that Kiwanis offers. Here you can see just kind of an indication of what a sample homepage of a website might show. You can see there it's very cleanly designed. It's got some branded content on it. You can see it's got a personalized club logo on there. Very clean, very very sleek and easy to use and read design as part of that. You can see just from that screen grab there that there's some integrations that we've got there for Facebook and things like that, and so some other social media as well. And so this is a product we've created for three categories of groups to use: clubs, Kiwanis clubs, Kiwanis districts, and then also club foundations or district foundations as well. So we have an assortment of those three different audiences that have created websites through our WordPress offering before. So there's a lot of different uses that you can use, or a lot of segments that you can use the site as part of that. I talked a little bit about Kiwanis.org, which is the organization's website, and you may have noticed in August of last year that the Kiwanis.org website changed in its look and changed in its kind of structure, and that is because we moved the organization's website over to this WordPress instance. We felt so strongly about the quality and the ease of use and performance enhancements that we got through WordPress that we put the organization's website actually on there. And so hopefully that says something about, or says something for our comfort with WordPress as a platform, and the fact that we would put the organization's website on there as well. Some of the reasons why we moved over to WordPress, we can just kind of sum up here. It provides better search functionality. If you've ever had a chance to go on the Kiwanis.org website in the past, you probably know that there is, it's like drinking from a fire hose on that website. There's a ton of information on there. Sometimes it's hard to find. You may have had to call member services or email staff to try to find that information. And so the WordPress structure and the way we have the site designed really enhances your ability to search for information as part of that. And so we think that you'll find that to be easier. It's more secure, again, because WordPress is so ubiquitous or so common, kind of in the web platform space. It's been vetted and tested. It's used by, hundreds of thousands of users. And so it's very robust from a standpoint of security. And so we like that about it. We're always wanting to make sure that that the tools that we use are secure from a cybersecurity standpoint. Again, we talked about that cleaner design. It looks modern. It's not, a jumble of images and different fonts and things like that. It really makes it welcoming and palatable to a visitor that might be coming to the site that doesn't know anything about Kiwanis. And so we want them to come to a site that they feel is easily navigated and managed. Again, it's just simpler. It's just simpler looking, simpler in its in the way that you move around in it. And so all of those are sort of the reasons why we chose WordPress to host the Kiwanis.org website, and also why we chose those to offer club sites to through that platform. So a little bit about our thinking of why we did it. you certainly could think, why is Kiwanis getting into this business? We could have just, said, okay, each club can decide on how they want to create a website. They'll do that on their own under their own authority and ownership. Why does Kiwanis need to provide that? And there's a couple of key reasons strategically why we decided to provide a website product. First of all, we want to give clubs the ability to have a good looking website that's branded correctly. And if you're anything like me, that sort of creativity and having best practices and creating that kind of stuff, that doesn't come naturally to me. So we wanted to provide something to clubs that would help them have something that looked good, that was professional, that they didn't have to spend a lot of time on figuring out, I should make it look like X or Y or something like that. Obviously your club website or your district website, one of the main functions that it serves is to attract new members or attract individuals in your community, whether that be sponsorships or new members. And so we feel it's our responsibility to clubs and districts that we give you the tools that are necessary to be able to do that. And so providing a website that's easy for you to set up and maintain will help clubs attract new members. So there's certainly a membership aspect to it. We feel like Kiwanis clubs should have as many of the resources as they need to do what they need to do out in the communities for as little cost as possible. And so this product that we offer to Kiwanis clubs, to districts, to foundations, has no cost associated with it whatsoever. If you request a club site, we will spin that up for you, and we will not ask for any payment for it, either now or in the future as part of that. The only cost you might see associated with it is if you have a custom domain, like a custom website address. Let's say you're Kiwanis Club of mainstreet.org. You might have a cost to register that domain, and that's usually fairly minimal on an annual basis. But KI will not charge you anything for the club website. We will spin it up and host it for you for absolutely free. And we think that's important. We don't think you should have to pay for a tool that's as high of a priority as that. We wanted to create something that utilized tools that you might be already using and integrate them so that the learning curve was shallower for folks coming on. So many clubs use tools like a Google Calendar, to show their events on. They have a Facebook page that they're doing. They might have, shared folders and things of that nature. So we wanted to create something where you could still leverage those tools and in some instances integrate them in so that it was easier for you to kind of figure out how to use the system. We feel like this is a service to clubs. Again, you're paying dues dollars already. It was mentioned you've had meetings in the past about dues increase. I know the district went through a proposed dues adjustment measure last year, and of course, everybody's considering the dues amendment that will go before the House of Delegates at this year's convention. So that's top of mind. We want clubs to feel and know that they're getting a good return on investment for the dues dollars that they're paying. And this is one of the ways that we can fulfill that responsibility, is to provide you tools like this as part of the dues dollars that you're already paying. So we take that seriously, and we want to offer what we can with what you're already investing in the organization for. And then again, we wanted to create something that first and foremost was easy for clubs to use. If you could go and probably have a website created that has all kinds of bells and whistles and everything, but we and make it look just as great. But we wanted to create something that appealed to as broad of an audience as possible, whether you had tons of website experience, you didn't have any website experience whatsoever. So we wanted to create something that really spoke to different skill sets as part of that. So I've really kind of defined what it is, what the product is that we're offering. But again, it's just free, simple, easy to use, looks professional, it's branded, so you don't have to worry about it being kind of out of brand standard, or whether you're kind of giving a consistent message as everybody else is part of that, all in the name of being able to perform the mission that each of you is doing within your communities. That's the point of it. It's not just to have a website, it's that you can do the important work of Kiwanis, and this is just one of those tools as part of it. It's been designed by Kiwanis members and for Kiwanis members, and again, just to meet the needs of the clubs, foundation, and districts themselves. So great. We've kind of talked about how we came about it and kind of what it is. So let's get down to kind of brass tacks. What are some of the features that are offered as part of it? And so we'll just kind of go through them succinctly here. It's mobile friendly. Obviously in this day and age, people are accessing accessing websites through different devices, and so your website needs to be able to mobily scale to whatever device it's being viewed on. And these WordPress sites can do exactly that, whether you're looking at it on a phone or a tablet or on your desktop computer. It needs to look and act consistently across all of those devices. It's fully branded. Again, we talked about that fact that it's going to be consistent. It does allow you customization, but it's going to have branded images. You don't have to worry about copyright content and things of that nature. It's going to follow kind of the brand guidelines, and so we're going to have a consistent message for Kiwanis as a whole. You get a free logo out of it. Obviously, that's an important part. If your club doesn't have a logo, and they a lot of times just kind of use the Kiwanis seal and then put their name in front of it, we can get you logo images that you can use so that you can put that on printed material and things of that nature. You can accept payments through the club websites as well. We have a robust form integration on the club websites that allows you to do all sorts of neat things, and we'll kind of talk about that in a little bit. But one of those things is you can hook up a payment processor to those forms, and so you can collect payment for all sorts of different uses and needs. And so that's a very powerful tool that comes as part of this. And again, you don't pay anything for that. You might pay a transaction fee through your payment processor, whether it be PayPal or Stripe or somebody else. They might charge you a per transaction fee, but KI won't charge you anything for using that. Again, we've got Google Calendar integration. That way that you can maintain a calendar in a Google space and then have it integrated into your website so that you're only having to maintain it one place. Low maintenance. Again, we talked about this needing to be easy to use. And that's not just easy to use when you set it up, but easy to use on a monthly basis. If it's a headache to try to put content on there and keep it up to date and things like that, that's gonna make it difficult. That's gonna make buy-in much less. And so we have created something that should be very manageable for clubs to maintain. It's secure. Again, we talked about that. It's been vetted. We maintain the security on it, so you don't have to worry about nefarious bad actors getting in there and kind of messing with your sites as part of that. We provide training, self-paced, asynchronous. You can do it at your own speed. We put that information out there. We've got YouTube videos. We've got written modules that you can go out there, and we'll take you step by step through the website creation process. So that's important. It's not just enough for us to give you the site and say, okay, go on your own and take care of this. We want to make sure that you know how to use the site and you've got direction as part of that. We do have district trainers. Depending on your district, that individual may be more or less involved, but also KI staff is here to support you. And so we certainly, again, don't want to put you on an island. We're here to help you as you go through that process and, as you go through having the site itself. We've got integration for social media. You can integrate your Facebook feed as part of that. You can link your Twitter and Instagram on there. Obviously, if you're utilizing those social media spaces to get your message out, you can kind of connect all of those as well. And so those are all the kind of the features, kind of the top level features that we kind of offer as part of that. So who runs it? So this is an important part of it, because obviously I've talked a lot about it. And if you don't have a website, or if you're thinking about creating a new website, that's uh, probably a consideration for you. Is I don't have the bandwidth to kind of do this thing. How easy is this going to be able to maintain? So the individual clubs or foundation or districts, they're the ones that ultimately control their site. But let me give you a caveat on that based on this next point. Kiwanis International handles all the kind of inner workings of the site itself. So that means that we provision the site, meaning we spin it up for you, we create it, and then we give it to you and say, okay, it's yours. Here is your domain. Here's your login information, things like that. We provide training both in the way of to district trainers, and then also we have training available in support through international. And we maintain the infrastructure and security of the site. So on other sites, it might be necessary for you to kind of keep an eye on what updates and upgrades have to be installed on your site. We handle all of that. The way that Kiwanis is structured these club sites is we run a multi-tenant site, which means that we kind of have the underlying WordPress instance, but then we set up individual sites as part of that. Because we can do that, we can push out all the updates that we need to do so that everybody's got them at the same time. You don't have to worry that your site's not up to date, or it has a security patch that doesn't, that one club has that you don't have. We take care of all of that for you. So then that first bullet point, when we talk about individual clubs controlling their sites, really the club's responsibility is to populate their sites with content, whether that be text content, whether that be pictures, whether that be forms, whether that be bulletins and things of that nature. That's really where the club's responsibility comes in, is putting engaging and compelling content on their sites as part of it. Now that's a job in and of itself, so I don't want to minimize that, but I hope that folks see the value in the fact that I don't have to spend their time on the technical stuff as much as they do just putting their story about their clubs and their districts out on the site so that they can engage their communities as part of that. So a little bit more about some of the features that we have, just so you can kind of see a hands-on view of this. So I mentioned forms and the form integration that we have. You can do a lot of different things with those forms. You could put a member interest form out on your website. So if you have individuals that are maybe interested in joining or want to find out more about your club, you can put out a form out there so that you can collect their information and follow up with them. You can also create notifications on the back of that so that specific people in your club or your district receive notice of when a form is filled out so that you can follow up with them. You can do donation and event forms. I talked about that a little bit, but let's say you're taking sponsorships from the community, or just giving the opportunity for clubs to be able, or for individuals in the community to donate to your club. You can set up a form, again, with an integrated payment processor in it that allows folks to go and donate to your club if you'd like. So very powerful there. We all know that, sometimes from a fundraiser standpoint, individuals are just comfortable going ahead and giving a donation. This is a very easy way to do that. You can also do event forms as part of that. So let's say you're selling tickets to a fire person of the year event dinner that you're going to have, where you're recognizing those in the fire and safety services within your community, and maybe you're selling tickets to that. So you could sell a ticket, put different skip logic or conditional logic in there to sell tickets at various quantities and pricing. And again, with that payment processor connected, you can take payment for those as well. Again, we mentioned that you can integrate your Facebook feed. So if your club manages a Facebook page, you can integrate that into your site so that when you're posting to your Facebook page itself, that information will dynamically update on your website as well, so that you don't have to post in different areas. And that way you have a consistent message across all of those. Again, we talked about calendar integration. If you want to list your service projects or your club meeting times, you can do so there and maintain it through Google, and then it's just integrated into your club website as well. So I've given you kind of the important parts of the club websites themselves. Hopefully, what you've heard is fairly compelling, and so let's assume for an instant that we've kind of gone over this. Your club's in the market at looking at a new website, and you say, "Okay, Bryce, I'm sold already. We want to go with this. We were kind of wondering, how we were going to take care of this, and so we're ready to get started. How do I take care of it? Is it real difficult?" Well, it's not difficult at all. It's very simple. So first, we need the club or the foundation or the district to determine who their point person is going to be for the website. We don't expect this person to be the only person that accesses the site or puts content on it or anything like that. We just need an initial point person, and that person's nominally going to be the webmaster. But again, it doesn't have to be all on their shoulders. But if your club's trying to decide that they're going to go with a site, choose one person that's going to be kind of the point person to start out. Once that person is selected, you're going to fill out a site request form, which I'm going to show you a link to here in just a second. Once you do that, KI will send you a site creation email. Normally, we're trying to say right now, because of the volume that we're seeing, it's usually about 3 to 5 business days before you see that spun up. Traditionally, it's probably no more than 48 hours, but it has been a little heavier because of some concurrent things that are going on that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But won't take very long at all. We'll send you an encrypted email that will have the domain, the website address, and then it will have your login information as the person who submitted the form itself. So that basically gets you started. And then either your district contact or KI staff will help support you as you kind of go through the process. So some districts have individuals that are very kind of involved in the process itself, and some some districts rely more on KI staff as part of that. We're happy to help. We don't want you to feel like you're on an island as part of that. So we do offer the modules, the step-by-step modules. So those are a good place to start. But really, that's the process. Decide who that point person is going to be. Submit a request form. You'll get the site information, and then you start off and you receive support. So if you're interested in that, you can take your phone with your camera on your phone and scan this QR code that's on screen if you'd like, or you can just go to this shortened website address, this bit.ly/Kiwanis websites address, and that will take you to the online form that you can fill out as part of that. Now, if you don't get this today, I believe Leah's going to share the slide deck out with everybody later on, so you'll have that available. And I will also try to, as we go through questions, I'll try to put that link in there as well, so you can click on it. But it's as easy as that. You go onto the form, you fill out a few questions about your club, and then wait for us to send you the website address, and you're ready to start out as part of that. So even if you're kind of on the fence about using one of these websites, or whether this website's going to work for you, again, there's no cost to you, to your club, to set one up. The cost to KI is somewhat minimal, and so I'd suggest maybe going ahead and signing up for it. If you decide that you don't want to use it, ultimately you're going to go with some other platform, just let us know, and we'll shut that site down so that we can provision it for somebody else. But again, there's very little downside in trying out the site and seeing how it is, and what you like about it, and how you might utilize it as part of that. So we'll talk about Portal Buzz and its discontinuation again. Again, mentioned that Portal Buzz is a third-party platform that's offered by an outside company, Aplos Software. They've been serving Kiwanis clubs for probably 10 to 12 years, maybe longer. And they offer several different features under one roof. They did have some integration with Kiwanis's database where it would go and pull member data from the Kiwanis database, and so it could display that on its website itself. But as I mentioned, PortalBuzz has notified its subscribers that it will be closing its business as of February 29th of 2024. So if your club has a PortalBuzz site, starting March 1st, you won't be able to access that site. And so as part of this conversation, it's important for us to kind of give you all a space to kind of talk about that and answer questions that you have, because those of you that have a PortalBuzz site, you're probably trying to figure out what you're going to do, or maybe you've already decided, maybe you have questions about that. And so that's why we bring this up. We do, again, want to take the opportunity, because you might be in the market for a new club website, right now is a great time to try out the free club website that's provided by Kiwanis. You may find that it provides all your needs that you had from PortalBuzz as part of that, and so we want to be there for you. We feel like in using a mixture of the free club website that Kiwanis offers, plus the capabilities that you have on the Kiwanis reporting site that we talked about, which is Kiwanis Connect now, and will be Kiwanis Engage here later on this year. We feel like you can achieve a lot of the same, or will be able to achieve a lot of the features that you have through PortalBuzz if you use PortalBuzz. And then one of the good things about Kiwanis technology is we're committed to expanding and enhancing that itself. So we're not going to just create it and then let it be what it is and not do additional things with it. We're going to continually expand that. We're already doing that with the club websites, trying to add features onto it. Kiwanis Engage will be the same thing as well. So that's one thing that that's one of the positive things about Kiwanis technology is we're not going to rest on our laurels. We're going to create the technology, and then we're going to listen to members and leaders to see how we can improve it as part of that. No matter what you decide, if your club uses PortalBuzz now, and you're thinking about what you're going to use in place of PortalBuzz, no matter whether you go with the Kiwanis website or you go with another third party itself, we want you to remember that if you're a PortalBuzz subscriber, no matter what you do, you need to remember to obtain or download the file assets that you have on your PortalBuzz site no later than February 29th. I guess it's leap year, so it'd be February 29th of this year. We want you to remember that you need to get that information off of there, because if you don't have it there, or if you don't have it before it shuts down, then you might not be able to recuperate that information. So PortalBuzz, to their credit, has made it easy for you to get, the different files that you might have on that site, or pictures or things like that. Two ways: you can email them at support@portalbuzz.com and ask them to send you a download, which they will, or they've actually added a feature onto the documents area of the PortalBuzz platform that says export all, and you can click on that and it'll download everything for you as well. So again, no matter what you do, if you use PortalBuzz, make sure at least that you get those documents and those assets off of there so that you don't lose them when PortalBuzz closes. Oh, there we go. Before February 29th. Now I've talked about a couple of different platforms here. We've talked about the free club websites. We've talked about Kiwanis Connect. We've talked about Kiwanis Engage. We've talked about PortalBuzz, and so all of that kind of might be swimming in your head. And if you're like me, I like to see kind of things laid out next to each other, so I know this is what this system offers, this is what this system offers. And so we've created a feature comparison sheet that you can reference if you go to this website, this bit.ly/platform features comparison, or again, you can just scan that QR code, that image on the screen there with your phone. But that gives you kind of a grid to tell you what features are included in the current systems and what features will be included in future systems like Kiwanis Engage. So you can kind of make an informed decision about, what will allow you to do the most things as part of that. So almost done there. Just kind of want to talk about common questions that I've heard, and maybe some of you right now have these questions as we talk about this as well. So one of the questions we've heard about the Kiwanis Club free websites that we offer is my club has the domain name of KiwanisClubOfMainStreet.org. Can we keep that if we get a Kiwanis website? You absolutely can. Currently, what you would do is if you have a custom domain that's like that, if it's like KiwanisClubOfMainStreet.org, you can use domain forwarding through your domain service, the provider that gives you that domain, to point it to your new Kiwanis website. So if somebody types out KiwanisClubOfMainStreet.org, it will take them to the Kiwanis website itself. And that way, if you're putting your website on, brochures or flyers or things like that, you don't have to put kind of a weird Kiwanis, jumbled website address on there. You can use something that's memorable, that's easy to type out and remember as part of that. So you can continue to use that. There's nothing that would prohibit you as part of that. It does do it through domain forwarding, but you can still use those custom domains. We've had individuals ask us, I have experience with WordPress, and I know WordPress has a lot of different integrations. It has a lot of different plugins, which are apps that kind of connect your WordPress site to another platform or another site. They say to me, I know that WordPress allows you to do a lot with those plugins. Can we install our own plugins? And unfortunately, no, we are limited in the type of plugins that we can allow for the club sites. Part of that is because of the way that our sites are structured. Again, Kiwanis has the underlying structure, and then we spin up individual sites as part of that. And so because of that, because everybody's kind of in the same environment, we need to make sure that any plugin that is installed works well for everybody. It's secure. It's not going to crash 1,000 club websites as part of that. And if it has a cost, which the organization would assume, we want to make sure that it's of value to the most people as possible. And so for that reason, we've taken ownership of making sure that we vet the plugins, the integrations as part of that. Having said that, if you know of a plugin that the current free sites that we offer doesn't have, you can certainly suggest those to us, and we'll research them and see, will they work well within our environment? Does it meet a need that a lot of people have as part of that? So we want this to be a dialogue as part of that, even though we have to limit who is the one that's actually installing those. So that's a common question that we hear. We get a lot of questions, can we only have one administrator? Or how do I make sure that if I stop being the administrator, somebody else will have access? Well, you can have more than one person that has user access in there. Once you are set up, or whoever in your club fills out that request form, they'll instantly be able to go into their club site dashboard and start inviting other users to contribute or be administrators as well. And so we don't expect one person to handle all of it for a club. That's not a best practice anyway. If you have one person who's the administrator for your site, and that person wins the lottery and goes to live on an island, that nobody's ever going to see him again, it's not good for just one person to kind of hold the keys to that. So it's always good to have a couple of individuals that have access to the website. And so you can definitely have more than one administrator. Lastly, we get a good question, is there a limit to the amount of photos or files or things like that I can post on my website? And there isn't currently. The storage that we have, we maintain the storage for all the club sites, and that expands and contracts as is needed. And so as your club posts more things to its website, that space may grow as part of that. Now we do ask clubs to kind of partner with us to be good stewards of that space, and be strategic about what they put on there. So if you have a 4-hour movie in 8K that you're thinking about posting on your website, we'd ask that you maybe reconsider that, because that is going to take up a bunch of storage as part of that. But if we're talking, a short video clip, lots of pictures of a community event that you did, your newsletters, board minutes, things like that. That doesn't take up a lot of space. And so you can put whatever you'd like on there as part of that. But if we all kind of work together to maintain that space, we won't have to, put limits on that kind of storage capability as part of that. So we just ask that clubs be mindful of that part. So a couple of last QR codes to throw at you here. We have a website resource page online that you can go to and find a lot of the information I've talked about and a lot more in-depth information. You can also find the online form to request a site on there as well. But if you just go to that QR code, or you go to that website down there, that'll take you to the website resource page. Again, that request a site form you can get directly from there as well. And so now we have come to discussion time. Before I open it up for questions, as part of that, let me just show you my contact information. If you have questions after we get through the presentation, maybe you have a question that comes up after the fact and you're like, oh, I wish I'd asked Bryce that. My contact information is right on there. You can email me if you'd like. You can call my number as part of it, but we really want to answer those questions and provide support to you as you go through this. We don't want you to feel like this is our only dialogue that we have to have as this presentation. We want to have a conversation with you if you have questions, because we know it's a big decision, and so you may have questions that come out of that that you want to ask. And so we hope that you'll feel free to reach out to myself. If you have a relationship with another staff member, you can reach out to them if they have those answers, but they can certainly get you to our IT department. But please feel free to reach out as part of that. So with that, let me go through some of the chat here and answer some of the questions. Art asked if we'd be able to do billing on the website, and unfortunately we can't. I know PortalBuzz, if you used PortalBuzz had a feature that you could do individual billing through. We don't have that capability currently, mostly because the different ways that clubs collect dues, both the schedule that they collect and then also what they include in their payment or in their billings, is so complex and so varied that it's difficult for us to find something that would be applicable to everybody and that would integrate into a site itself. So a lot of clubs, even if they were using PortalBuzz or if they have another website system, they're using a third-party service like QuickBooks Online. There's some low-cost ones like Wave or Xero and things like that, where they're using simple accounting programs that allow them to bill out to folks, that gives them the freedom to include the different variety of things. Some clubs collect for meals, some don't. Some collect for different assessments and things like that. So it's very difficult at that level to find something that's evergreen for everybody. And so that is one area that we don't have a solution for as part of our websites currently. Somebody mentioned that their current WordPress site has a password protected members only page. You can do that in the WordPress sites that we offer, the free club websites. There's two ways that you can password protect a page on your Kiwanis WordPress site. You can password protect a page so that it has a shared password, so that you could create one password and provide that to your club members in a secure way, and then they have that ability to go in and do that. And then you can also password protect pages so that each person is required to have a WordPress login. Now that may be a little more difficult depending on the lift, of effort that requires for you. One of those may work better. The password, the common password that you can set up, I find is probably the most gives you the most flexibility as part of that, but you certainly have those two options on that. Does WordPress have a mobile app? It does. It should show the same information. Obviously, it'll show it differently. I think the WordPress app actually it allows you to get into the administrative part of your website, but as part of that dashboard access, you'd be able to view your website in what it would look like to external users as part of that. But it does have a mobile site that you can go in and maintain your site through on your phone or your or on your tablet as part of that. So Mike asks, why would we not use this service? I don't know. There might be somebody with us right now that might have some concerns or some something holding them back, and we'll certainly open up here to share that. But I think I got through all the questions, so maybe at this point I think we've got another 10 minutes, which is a good amount of time to answer questions. So if you'd like to unmute and you'd have a question that you'd like to ask, or concerns that you'd like to voice, or anything, feel free to do so at this point. Old George.
Bryce, when I was a lieutenant governor, I would have liked to have been able to create a Kiwanis website. As I understand from what you're telling me, districts can, clubs can, but divisions can't.
They can. I don't know that we've had anybody sign up for a division to do it, but there's nothing that would keep you from doing it. I mean, there's nothing in the hierarchy of the Kiwanis organization that would say that you wouldn't be able to use it as part of that. That might be a conversation to have with your district leadership, only from the fact that it would be good to kind of coordinate that all together. Maybe it's a thing of that all the divisions take a look and maybe create one itself. You don't want to kind of cannibalize engagement from one site to another, so that's something you want to coordinate, as well as what content did you have here versus there and things like that. But no, technically speaking, George, there's nothing that would prohibit a division from having a website as part of that. So
thank you.
Yeah, sure. Did I see another hand? Oh, Steve, sure.
I got one. I've been using Portal Buzz right along, I guess, as long as we've switched over to them number of years. And, our members can go in, they can look up another member, they can get their contact information, lots of information in there. You can set up all your committees in there. And I understand, the new website is a website, so it's not a club management. But it was mentioned that, we can use Kiwanis Connect. I do use that as secretary. So when I go into Kiwanis Connect, it brings up the secretary page. When other Kiwanians go into Kiwanis Connect, are they able to look up members' information, or is there any advantage to have them even go to Kiwanis Connect?
Sure. Currently, the Connect reporting site is fairly limited in that aspect. A member, anybody that has an active membership can log into Kiwanis Connect, mostly to update their own information, their own profile information and things like that. You may have had members doing that as well, Steve, but from your point in interacting with the data, you're correct. Kiwanis Connect is pretty limited in that. And so that is why we're committed for Kiwanis Engage to create that sort of thing, so that when you're going to have in Engage a lot of the features that you'd have like that, where a club member could go in, they could obviously update their profile information, but they might be able to see some limited directory information for their club. They might be able to view their bylaws, the copy of the most updated bylaws that the club has. We named it Kiwanis Engage for that exact reason. We want to engage with our members at a member level, so that it's just not the club officers that use the site, for club administration and things like that. Now, I know that makes it difficult because Portal Buzz is closing at the end of February, and we've said Engage isn't going to launch until, Q3 or Q4. And so I know there's some concern about the gap as part of that. We understand that, but we really want clubs to know that we're committed to offering those sorts of things through the new Kiwanis Engage system, because we don't feel, and let it be said, Kiwanis Engage will not have a cost to clubs, just like Kiwanis Connect doesn't have a cost to clubs. And so we feel like you should have the ability to do those sorts of things at no additional cost. We just, Portal Buzz closing took us by surprise as well. We didn't anticipate it. And so our timelines haven't really matched up, but we are committed to offering that sort of thing on there. So
Well, I did sign up for the free website, and I've set mine up. It takes some getting used to. It's a brand new thing. I never used WordPress before. I think the modules that you had on the video training modules were helpful, to take you through step by step. I would suggest if you have a key club, recruit one of those kids in a technology program to help you set that up. They
Yeah.
could probably do it a lot quicker than we can, but it looks very good. It's very clean and very simple, and it's very consistent. So we're all looking the same as far as our websites and the feeds that you get from Kiwanis, the videos and the pictures and all of that sort of stuff. So I commend you for helping us out with that. We're also going to save $35 a month for our club.
great. Yeah, I appreciate that input, Steve. That's all of those are the benefits that we kind of want to see. We're undertaking redoing some of those training modules and videos. Those were created when we first launched the platform, and so some of that's changed. We've learned some things since that time, and so we're gonna redo some of those and include some more things as part of that. So we really want clubs to kind of feel that they can go right through those modules and videos and learn how to do this without a bunch of training separate from that. So I appreciate that feedback, Steve, very much. Mike Karaman.
Yeah, Portal Buzz, a couple of important features are emailing club members as well as the file, the data storage. And I heard you talk about downloading the data so we can, have it and put it back in. But what do we do for the emails aspect of it? Do you need to go to another service, Constant Contact, or something different, or what?
That's a great point, Mike. I appreciate you bringing it up. That is a go live feature that we will be including in Engage. And I know, again, we've got that gap, so that doesn't answer kind of that need right off the bat. If you're using Portal Buzz and it closes in March, you're going to need something at that time. And so, yeah, that exactly as you said, that is sort of what we're suggesting to clubs as they use Constant Contact. MailChimp, there's I think a service called Brevo, Brevo. And I think that is, I think that it has a pretty robust free version that you can use as part of that. They're all based on how many emails and subscribers you send out. So depending on how large your club is, the cost may or may not be, consistent. I think the district uses
like 5,000 a month or something like that. So
you can send out 5,000 emails a month. Yeah, for little or no cost. Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of those have rich design capabilities in them, so you can make emails that are very attractive and very modern looking and everything like that. And so we don't want you to have to use a bunch of disparate different programs, and so we want to include that in Kiwanis Engage. But again, it's just the timing of that including on that. But it definitely makes sense to have that in Kiwanis Engage because you're going to have the member information there already. So the way we look at it as you should be able to write alongside your roster information, you should be able to blow out, emails directly from that. So yes, there's kind of a stopgap measure you can use until Engage launches, but we feel like a lot of those features are going to be, we know, and have given our developers those requirements for having that information or those features in there. So it's a great question. Others as well? Anybody have a question you'd like to ask, Joe?
Yeah, Bryce, related to Engage, not so much the WordPress site, but is it still on the table to have members be able to input their service hours into Engage directly, as opposed to having to go through the club secretary?
Yes. So we plan on having volunteer hour and service hour tracking as part of that. I will say I don't know if it will be a go live feature, but it will be one of the first enhancements we make. We've set ourselves a kind of an update schedule of doing pretty robust enhancements every quarter. And so even if we don't launch with that information, part of it is that we don't want to inundate clubs that are having to learn a new system with a ton of new features. It's probably better to ease folks in. But I think one of the first quarterly updates that you see, if we don't have that available at launch, will be service and fundraising tracking as part of that, and something of like an attendance tracking feature as well. So yep, it's definitely going to be there. Maybe not right at the outset, but definitely within the first 6 months or a year. So Deanna mentioned, when will KI brief members on Engage and its anticipated components? We are looking at sending, just kind of a, hey, get ready kind of message out to members. There's a lot of kind of decision making that goes into that. We want to get feedback from some of our district leaders to find out how advisable they think that is and kind of what the tone of that message is. We don't want to we want the message to do exactly what it needs to do, which is to excite people, but not make them real antsy about it, and kind of let them know what the timeline is for it, and just kind of whet their appetite a little bit. And so there's a lot that goes into that. We will be having sessions for Engage at the Kiwanis International Convention in Denver. So that will probably be where the first kind of preview of that is. It'll be very high level as part of that, but we will be showing off some features as part of that. And so I'd expect that really communication would kick into high gear probably around the summertime or so. Again, we don't want to while we're right in the middle of it, we don't want to share information that probably will just have clubs have a lot of questions, because we don't want to, we don't want to create a lot of anxiety in clubs and things like that. So we want it to be prepared and very deliberate how we send that out. So probably look for that in the summertime. Leah and I work a lot together in her position as district secretary. And so I know she's talking to all of you on a very frequent basis. And so she's going to help me, I'm sure, ensure that our communication is clear and does what it needs to do and answers the questions that we need to have. So I know that we're going to do our best to try to keep clubs informed, but do it in a way that makes sense for everybody. So I've used up all my time. I certainly don't want to abuse that. So again, if you have questions that you didn't get to ask or that we didn't get to tonight, please feel free to email me or give me a ring and we can talk about it as part of that. Hopefully I've given you some things to think about, and maybe you're convinced enough that you'll try out our websites. But again, no matter what you choose, no matter which way you go, know that our Kiwanis staff is here to support you in whatever that you do. And so however we can play a part of that, we're excited to do so. So I appreciate the time that you've given us tonight. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Leah.
Thank you so much, Bryce. What a wonderful job. You're getting kudos in the chat. We really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to be here tonight with us as well. And Bryce does mean it. If you have any questions, he will get back to you with his email or the phone calls to him. Just a quick update. Our mid-year conference is about 2 weeks away, February 10th in the Raleigh-Durham area at the DoubleTree by the airport. If you were not able to sign up, please email me if you're interested. I'm starting a wait list. We are working with the hotel to see if we can expand the seat availability for our maximum capacity so I can accept some more on-site registrations, but that is my holdup at the moment. And yeah, we will plan to have some more sessions like this come March and April. A few more are available from Bryce, and I hope to set one up, especially on how we can use AI in Kiwanis. We're looking forward to that. So stay tuned. You'll hear all about all upcoming free webinars in the upcoming issues of CD News. This session has been recorded, and I will be getting it up onto our free webinar library along with that PowerPoint. If I can get to it for Monday's CD News, it will come out. However, dealing with everything with the mid-year has gotten me backlogged. So it might be this week or next, but stay tuned. And thanks for being here, everyone. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Night.